Hello, love. I'm Joelle. I'm a coach and I work with women who are ready to become unapologetic in their desires. And today I want to talk about fear. This is big for me because 2 years ago, exactly, I got on a boat from the UK, from Scotland, where I'd been living. I went down to Newcastle and got on a boat with my dog, who actually is here, Hope. And I traveled across Europe and I didn't have a plan. I was 40 years old. I was following an intuition that I wanted to leave the country I had been living in. And I did not know what was going to happen. But I did it anyway because I listened to myself. And the first thing that I want to say about fear and the reason that we struggle in our words to be brave or to do the thing is because we lack self-trust. We actually lack the ability to trust ourselves if something goes wrong, to make a way, to make it okay. And we've really lost this. And I think in our culture, it has become so common for us to just be comfortable. We're in our houses and we're comfortable. We have our friends and we're comfortable. We're kind of okay, but we are not fully alive. We are not fully living. And in so many ways, I think COVID and the pandemic really normalized this for us because there was a huge rupture in our world and so much fear and so much activation in our nervous system. And then we found a way to stay safe. And that way to stay safe literally was to stay inside, literally was to put our entire lives on hold. And so many of us are doing that. So many of us are not going after the thing that we truly, truly desire. And this is something that I look at all the time in my life. Just because I did that journey 2 years ago does not mean that I don't desire more and I want to plan beautiful things. I play bigger with my life. It's still present. It's still here because I'm very acutely aware that we have a certain amount of time and that I want to make the most of it. I want to know at the end of my life that I took those chances and I did those things. You know, I left a career in teaching to write novels. Then I became a coach because I fell so deeply in love with this work. And so I don't have regrets. And I think that this is really, really important when we are considering fear, because fear, if we let it be bigger than it is, will keep us so stuck. And there is a lot of collective fear in our world right now. So I am going to give you a practice today that you can do to come back into your body, to really connect with yourself, and to let that travel through you if you're currently experiencing it. And with all of our emotions, we want to meet our fear with compassion. We want to really be with ourselves. So first thing, the muscle to build here is self-trust. And I just want to talk about how this showed up for me. Before I got on that boat, I had spent many years proving to myself that I could trust myself. And we have a saying, which is mastery is in the crevices. We think it's in those big moments. We think it's the quitting of the job and the getting on the boat and the moving countries or whatever the thing is that you're currently desiring or seeing someone else do on Instagram and you're like, that's the thing. We think it's in those big moments, but my love, it's really in the small decisions. It's really in the way that you choose to speak up when you could hold back. It's in the way that you even allow yourself to research, how would I get from Scotland to Lisbon with a dog? It's in those tiny little openings towards yourself that things start to shift and change. And that is such a beautiful, beautiful space to be in. So we have fear for a very important reason. It is a survival response. It is our body's way of telling us, hey, something is up here that you need to pay attention to. But I also want to give you the definition, my favorite definition of courage, because I think this is really important. Just let me get it up for you. Courage is the willingness to act in the presence of fear, uncertainty, or discomfort. It is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to move anyway when something matters enough. And this is what I want you to consider, is how much does living your life in a way that feels full and alive and in which you are open to and pursuing the possibilities on your heart, how much does that matter to you? When you can get really plugged into that, that's where we really get to come into these courageous moments and show ourselves, hey, fear can be here and I can still move. And I can still move. So we're not taking fear as a sign to back off and to stop. I know that way is too dangerous. I can't do it. We're actually working with all parts of ourselves in order to move forward with the fear and thanking the fear. So I hope this is landing for you, because I think it's so, so big. And you know, every time I reach a new level, every time I invest in another coach, every time I make a decision for my life, I still experience fear, right? Because there are no guarantees. But courage is moving forward in the face of uncertainty. And we all want to feel courageous. That's not something that somebody else comes along and bestows on you. That's something that you choose. You choose it because your life matters enough, because you matter enough. Okay, my love, so I'm going to summarize, and then we're going to go into a beautiful process where you just really get to work with your body and fear. And this is another thing. We are really disconnected from our bodies. And so when our bodies have big reactions, it feels like a shock. It feels like something that we really need to pay attention to. And actually, what we really require is tools. Somatic tools, nervous system tools to actually work with our body so we can find safety again and then move forward from a resourced place. And you get to decide and define what this means for you. You get to decide and define what a courageous life is for you. It might have nothing to do with travel. It might just be, I'm here and I want to set up this thing for my community that's been on my heart for 7 years and I haven't done anything about it because I've told myself X, Y, Z. It might be, I really want to restart the business that didn't work out first time around, but I am afraid. So what if it doesn't work out again? What does that mean about me? Right? And we want to just get really clear underneath the surface about the stories that we are telling. Because everything I've ever done in my life that has mattered, that has been worthwhile, there has been fear present. And there are certain kinds of fear in our society that are so normalized. If you have a baby, you are going to feel fear. When you go away to university and you all of a sudden don't have your family around you, you are going to feel fear. When you go into your job for the first time, you are going to feel fear. But those things are so normalized that we don't even think about the fact that fear is there. The things that aren't normalized are going for what is extraordinary, choosing something bigger, brighter, better for yourself, not because somebody else says it's the thing, but because you choose it, because you want it, because you're brave enough to say, this is my life, mine. All right. So take a second, if you're still with me on my little riff here about fear, to really get settled in your space. And if you want to come back to this, no problem. Just connecting with your body. And just notice what is present here. Close your eyes down if it feels safe enough to do so. And just let all of those words that are swirling around, all of the things that I've said, just let them be in your space. Courage is the ability to be with uncertainty when it matters enough. And just bringing to mind something right now that matters to you. Maybe it's speaking up. Maybe it is allowing yourself to explore possibilities. Maybe it's booking a trip. Something that matters to you, that you feel fear around. Without doing anything, we want to just get your natural reaction. I want you to notice what happens in the body when that is present. So just notice what sensations are here. Maybe there's tension in your jaw, tingling in your tummy, hands activated. Just notice, no judgment. What is here? Beautiful. And now connect in to the word fear in your body. Where does fear live in your body? Where does fear live in your body? Maybe it's a tight black knot somewhere. Maybe it's in your shoulder, in your toe. Being really intuitive. And when you find that place, take a beautiful deep breath. You can say out loud, I see you. Welcome. Thank you. I see you. Welcome. Thank you. And just notice, with no expectation, what happens when we welcome this fear. Just notice what happens when we say, yes, you can be here. And tuning into here, and this may bring up an emotion, it may not, but tune into what you're really afraid of. What is the thing that you are really, really afraid of? Is it rejection? Is it that people won't love you anymore? Keep breathing. Is it that you'll be alone? Tuning into this part, this fear, and letting it be present and letting it reveal itself. What are you really afraid of? Are you afraid people are going to think something about you? Letting it be here, and then just knowing that you're really safe here. If it feels okay for you, just invite this fear to expand. If it wants to, it can be bigger. And as that happens, keep breathing. Just notice that you can be with this feeling. Your heart is still beating. Your lungs are still working. Your blood is still pumping. This is simply an experience or sensation in the body. Beautiful. And let's ask this part, this fear, it has a message for you. What is that message? And just let it speak. And then I want you to really consider if what it is saying is true. If it's saying something is not safe, is that really, really true? Or is that just something that is fear? How do you know it's not safe? What information do you have about that? Just getting really, really clear on if the stories that fear is telling you here are true. Beautiful. And I'd love for you to take a big, beautiful breath. And you might shake out your body now. You might tap on that area of your body where fear lives. And just really, again, just acknowledge, hey, I was with the fear. I let it expand. It was here in my body. It's telling me some stories. I get to look at if they're true or not. And I get to decide what I do from here. But thank you, fear. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing yourself. Thank you for opening to me. You get to be here. You get to be a part of this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so do whatever you need to do here to come in back to the space with me really safely. You might squeeze at one arm and then the other. You might give yourself a hug. And these are the kinds of processes that we go into more deeply in my containers and in my one-to-one coaching. And the reason that they're so powerful is that we really get to be with and allow what is present so we are not battling ourselves. So we are not battling ourselves. How beautiful we are not battling ourselves. So after I finish talking, or you can pause me now, you might decide to go and journal on what fear revealed to you. What are you actually really afraid of? Once that's out, we can work with it. When we don't know what it is, it stays in the dark, it stays in the shadow. And then you get to take a breath and you get to really reset as a mature adult, as some incredible woman who has her stuff together. And you get to say, okay, this is what my fear is showing me, but here is the choice that I'm going to make. I know what it's telling me, but I can be with that feeling. I can breathe. And I can move forward. And notice how much power is there in that tiny, tiny realization that in so many ways is the biggest realization. Fear is worst case scenario. Fear is anxiety. Fear is not complete truth. So I really want you to actually let this land in your system. And then I want you to think about the other part of you, the courage part of you. And if you want, you can go through and do the same process and let courage speak. What does courage have to say? How does courage want to express? How does courage want to be here in your body? And what action do you take when you access courage and possibility instead of defaulting to fear, scarcity, and limitation? What action do you take from that other space? And practice this again and again and again until it becomes normal, until it becomes your default, until the fear is just in the background, but it is not running the show. And then if I just say this full circle for you, this is where we build self-trust. Because we show ourselves that no matter what that physical sensation of discomfort is in the body, that we are able to take action. And that is game-changing. That is truly, truly life-changing. So I would love to know what your takeaways are from this process, from thinking about fear like this. And I would love to know what the part of you that taps into that courage actually decides. Now, here's the reason that we're not really meant to do this alone. You can take this, you can go away, you can do this process, you can feel for a moment, yes, I can work with this. But where we really see change and where we really fast track ourselves is when we're held accountable to these new actions that come from a space of courage and possibility, not from this space of fear. And that's what coaching gives you. It gives you a space, it gives you a container where you are held to those possibilities and you consistently and continually take those actions and those actions are celebrated. So it becomes normal to your subconscious and normal to your system that you act from courage and you act from possibility. And from that place, your life changes. If 2 years ago I had focused on the fear, I could have shut down all possibilities. I could have shut down the things that were really, truly important to me and that mattered because fear was telling me it was too risky. Fear was telling me I'd never been across Europe with my dog. Fear was telling me that I needed to have all of the travel arrangements or things might go wrong. Fear was telling me all of these things. You know what? I navigated, even on my own, even at 40 years old, which society will tell you is whatever, right? I navigated them because it mattered enough. What matters enough for you? I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I would love to know how this lands.